Round 2 to see which of the new high-end matte foundations is worth your cash. We got the Nars that won the last battle versus Dior. This is the Dior Forever Skin Wear Foundation. This is the matte version. We tested out the Nars with the Estee Lauder Double Wear. This one won, so now we're gonna go on to Dior to see which one of these two is best with this full day wear test. So. Before we get started, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That will make sure that you are tuned into every single one of my videos and you join La Familia Bonita. Also, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoy watching foundation reviews and seeing what the hottest new makeup is all about. I think today we're gonna go ahead and start off with the Nars because this is the last battle. We're quickly going to just refresh our memory on this. You do want to make sure to shake this foundation well. This one is in the shade Sahel. This is a natural matte foundation and you can see very, very lightweight formula. You apply it all over. This foundation does retail for $55, so it is pretty pricey. I will say though, now a lot of the high-end foundations are pretty pricey, but this foundation is nice because when you apply it onto the skin, it truly does give a matte finish. Now, it doesn't give matte and flat, but like it does set to a matte finish without feeling heavy, which is definitely a good thing. Something else I do want to point out, just from using this foundation quite a bit these past few weeks, is how you prep does play a factor into how this just looks overall on the skin. If you prep with super glowy products, you will see the glow pop up. But if you prep with more so matte products that aren't so like glowy looking, this is going to give you that true matte finish that you're supposed to get from the foundation. Something else too I noticed with this foundation is that it dries pretty quickly. If you don't prep with a lot of hydrating products, but you do have dry skin, this will pick up on those dry patches. Just keep that in mind because I do feel like this foundation truly is made for the person that has like combination to oily skin because it dries matte. I also do appreciate the fact that this foundation doesn't get sticky. You can see it applies really beautifully with a brush, which is also a very great thing to know. There's no stickiness to this foundation, which is great. The Nars foundation also really does focus on pore blurring and just giving you a nice blurred out effect. And I think this color Sahel works well with the complexion. I do feel like it does oxidize a little bit. The shade goes on kind of more neutral and I feel like it kind of picks up some warmth, but not too warm where it looks orange, just like the right amount of warm. So this is the Nars foundation, definitely giving us matte results, which this was the winner of last week's when we compared it to the new Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation. This one wore more matte and in place and very oily skin friendly. Para mis bonitas. So now we're gonna move on to the other new one, which is the Dior Forever Skin Wear, which looks like this. And this is also gonna be a blurring natural matte ultra wear foundation that combines makeup perfection with skincare benefits for a perfect skin with or without makeup. This lasts up to 24 hours, like I just mentioned, and it is supposed to be a medium coverage. This one though is more expensive. It retails for $60, which is why it's so important to do these wear tests side by side because you can really see these products in action. You can really see which one will work best for you and your needs. This foundation also does contain SPF 20. Now I do want to point out this foundation does contain hyaluronic and niacinamide, so just keep that in mind. If you're not a niacinamide person, this may not be the product for you. And we're going to put some on the back of our hand. This one is in the shade 3N. I always found that this shade 3N for all of the Dior foundations work really well on me. I do have in-depth reviews and wear tests on each one of these foundations. So if you want to see those individually, you can absolutely do that. But right now I'm just going to go in and blend this foundation. Immediately, the Dior foundation feels much more lightweight than the Nars foundation. I feel like there's a little bit more hydration to the Dior foundation. I feel like the one by Nars is like, the formula is lightweight, but it doesn't feel as like fresh and hydrated as the one by Dior does. And you can see here too that the Dior one, although it is a matte foundation, it does have a little bit more radiance peek through, like a glow, like a healthy glow, than the Dior. Now, it'll be really nice to see because this foundation does retail for $60, so it is definitely pricier by $5 more than the Dior. We're gonna have to see. Especially with the Sephora sale coming up, I do find that these videos can be very helpful, especially if you've been eyeing a new matte foundation from Sephora, but you don't know which new one to get. I hope that this can guide you when you're making your decision on what foundation will work best for your oily skin. I will say though, this Dior foundation does have a little bit of a scent. It's kind of like fresh floral, so if you don't like that, just keep that in mind, but this does have a scent to it. So this is the Dior foundation. This is the Nars foundation. I think at first, the Dior foundation does give, like I said, a little bit of a glow to the skin, but I feel like once it has time to like set into the skin, it doesn't look as glowy, which is good. I feel like it sets to a soft matte. I don't think we need any more. I think this is good. The Dior, and then right here we have the Nars. Do you see? I feel like the Nars one, once it sets, picks up more orangey. The Dior one does oxidize a little bit, but it still sets neutral. So just keep that in mind for the 3N shade. But this is what we have going on right now. Let me touch this side. Okay, so I can say that neither of these foundations feel sticky. So that's a good thing. They both feel really nice in place, not sticky, because you guys know some foundations get really sticky. You know, these do not feel sticky whatsoever. They feel like they are on, they are in place, and they're not going to budge. So the Dior one does claim to be a 24-hour ultra wear, which is awesome. And then the Nars is going to give us also 24 hours. So they're both doing kind of the same thing. They both have the longevity, the 24-hour longevity. They're both matte foundations. This one gears more towards like serum-like foundation. And then the Dior one has the sunscreen in there of 20 SPF. I do still think always put on your sunscreen. I don't think the foundation sunscreen is enough. And then you always want to go in and retouch with a setting spray that has sunscreen through the day, especially if you're going to be outdoors and whatnot. But these foundations are claiming both not to move, to be on the face, and this is perfect because that's exactly what I needed to do. I'm gonna wear these foundations for a long day today and see how they perform. First impressions, they both look matte and in place. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup, and then I'm going to really begin this wear test and bring you bonitas along so that you can see how these foundations do throughout the day. Okay, bonitas, now I'm going to take you through the process of the products that I use on my complexion. I'm first starting off with bronzing. I like to use a lot of cream products when it comes to warming up the face. I'm just using the Dior bronzer as well as the Fenty for my nose contour, and then we're taking the Essence Silky Concealer that just recently came out, as well as Morphe's blushes. Now, as you can see here, I am going and building up on the products that I am using, and I begin to blend. And one thing I did notice in the process of blending was that on the side of the Dior foundation, I do feel like the products blended out slightly more faster and seamlessly than on the side of the Nars. You can see here the difference. We use same exact products, but I'm having a harder time blending things out. They do blend out nicely on the Nars side, but I just noticed that it's more seamless on the Dior side. Now I'm going in and blending the concealer. The concealer I'm using is the Essence Silky Blur Concealer that recently just came out. I'm using the shade 210, no. 120. I think it's the shade 120, but I'll have it linked down below in my description box so you can check out the items. That's what I use there. And I'm going in with a little bit of powder directly on the under eyes. This is the only place I'm really targeting the powder on the complexion. So now I'm going in with powder blush to just set that cream blush that we applied. I'm using the Morphe Blush Trios, and you can see how nicely they look. I'm dusting away that under eye powder. And as we dust away the powder, you can see the difference. This is Nars versus Dior. Which one do you think looks better? Let me know. Thus, I am back. I finished my entire face of makeup. I included it because I wanted you to see exactly what I used. As you can see, I like to use a mixture of creams, powders, all that good stuff. I went ahead and applied powder on my under eyes. I always get asked that question whenever I do my reviews is, do you powder? What do you use for powder? The only place that I typically like to powder when I am going on my everyday makeup look is my under eyes, because if I don't, they will crease. Now, from time to time, depending on how the foundation looks that I'm using, I will go in with extra powder and really go in and bake and all that good stuff. I like to do that when I'm going to an event or when I'm going somewhere where I know I need longevity. I need this makeup to look as flawless and beautiful and perfected as possible. But for every day, I'm not doing that. I don't know why I'm getting a sweat mustache right here. I don't know what's going on. So I'm now going to go in with powder, the residue of my loose powder, and set my sweat mustache. Now for the foundations. Okay, so this is what we have going on here. We have the Nars side, which is this side, versus the Dior side. They both look really nice, very comparable when it comes to, they both look like a soft matte finish on the face. They're both non-sticky. So those are two big things that I look at right away when I'm comparing foundations. I do want to come up close so you can see. So this is Dior, and then this is Nars. I'm just gonna go ahead and say maybe the Nars looks slightly more perfected, just slightly by a pinch. I'll show you up close and personal and natural light and all that so you can see it, but this is just what it's all looking like right now and how it's coming together. It's 10:24 in the morning. We're going to wear these foundations side by side the entire day and see how this does. I'm also battling right now a cold. Allergies, the spring allergies are killing me. So you may see some of the makeup fade on my nose because I'm blowing my nose and all that. Right now I'm doing pretty good, but just letting you know. So that's what we're looking like right now. I'm gonna go ahead, carry on with the rest of my day, and I'll see you later for some more check-ins and some final thoughts of the day. See which foundation is going to persevere and move on to the next round. Okay, bonitas, I want to show you the foundations in natural light right after applying them. So this side right here is Nars, which you can see, and this side right here is Dior. What are we thinking? And again, I only powdered my under eyes. I did dust away the leftover elsewhere, but you can see these two foundations don't really need to be powder, because I feel like the more powder you add on, the cakier they look, which is why I left them like this. But right now they both look similar and nice. I do feel like the side with Nars is slightly more perfected than the side with Dior. Even right here, I don't know if you can notice, the powder kind of stuck onto the Dior side a little bit, but not on this side. Bonitas, it is 12:46 p.m. and here is a check-in of the makeup. This side is Nars. This side is Dior. Ooh, what do I have right here? A little bit of food. It is still winning me over, but we shall see. We still have a lot of time. As for it being matte, I feel like both still look the same, like matte and in place, but the Nars one still looks nicer. Oh, King's right there. King! Bonitas, I wanted to do a check-in right now. It is 6 p.m. This is the side with Nars. This is the side with Dior. Now, I do want to point out, I just finished cooking, which is why I'm looking dewy now, okay? But the key is, which one looks more perfected? Dior? Nars. I still think this one looks more perfected, but now we are seeing the dew, okay? Right now it is 7:10 at night. We've officially worn these two foundations for 9 hours. So I wanted to cap it at 9 just because the last review battle was 9 hours. So I wanted to keep this one 9 hours too. The last check-in, Queeners. The last check-in you saw me do was after I finished cooking and I was getting a little dewy. You can see both sides do look dewy. But I have to say, the Nars side looks slightly less dewy. Like there's a glow, but it looks a little bit more in place than this right here by Dior, which can be actually a good thing, especially if you want to save a couple bucks, because this one is $60 and this one is $55. But I do have to say both have longevity because the makeup is still very much intact on both sides. There's no parts of the face that are like rubbing off or coming off. Like everything looks really nice when it comes to it staying on the skin. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take my go-to blotting sheets. I'll link these. These are from the Cream Shop. These are Hello Kitty ones, and I'm just gonna go ahead and take, I'm first gonna start off by blotting the Dior side over here. And I'm just gonna take that and see just how much oil we pick up. This is the best way to start your touch-up process if you do continue to wear this makeup for the rest of the day. Okay, that's how it looks. The foundation's still really nice and in place when we touch it up, which is a good thing. Okay, that's good. It didn't rub off the makeup, it just removed the oil, which is exactly what it needed to do. But the makeup on this side looks nice. It does become more one with the skin. Look how nice it still looks. Like we can still continue to wear this foundation because the blotting made a difference. The makeup is still beautifully in place. If anything, I feel like now it looks even better because I feel like it looks like it becomes one with the skin, and it's all like on the face. It didn't remove. Now we're gonna go in on the other side with the Nars. This one had slightly less dewiness, oil, I would say, than the one with Dior. So let's see how this does when blotting. Interesting, because this one did well too, but I feel like you can see kind of the separation a little bit more right here versus the Dior one looks a little bit more flawless at the end of the day. Yeah, I feel like the Nars one separated a little bit more once I removed this from that. Interesting, because before we blotted, the Nars side looked better. Like it stayed less oily than the Dior side. But once we went in and blotted, the one that did better, in my opinion, with the blotting was the Dior side. I feel like the skin just looks really nice and beautiful. It looks like, you know, we could have just applied foundation. But then the Nars side, there is a little bit of separation right here. And then up here that I'm not the biggest fan of. That looks a little bit more enhanced than I would like it to be. So that's just something to note. Like if you're somebody that's going to be wearing the foundation and need to touch up through the evening, whatever it may be, and you want it to still look really nice and flawless, I think the Dior one will definitely give you that better result. As for which one's gonna stay more oil-free for longer, I would say the Nars wins slightly more than the Dior one. But here's another thing too that I noticed. I felt like for most of the day, the Nars one looked better. If you have very oily skin, I still would go in with the Nars one for it to stay matte longer or oil-free for longer. I think this will give you that result. But I will say overall, if I'm counting all the factors, all the little checklist points, which one kind of covers more of that and more bang for your buck, I think the Nars one. You have a different opinion than I do. I love to hear all your thoughts. So let's go ahead and chat down below in the comment section, bonitas. I love interacting contigo. And stay tuned because now Nars is going to go head to head with next new matte foundation, and that's going to be Rare Beauty. Let me know your thoughts, bonitas. Let me know what you're thinking. Which foundation do you think won? Nars, Dior? Let's chat down below. Muchas gracias again. If you did enjoy watching this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Let's me know to continue these type of videos para mis bonitas. Without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and head out, and I will see you bonitas very, very soon for a brand new video. Don't forget to stay safe, stay blessed, and stay beautiful. Y nos vemos pronto. Adiós.